So how long have you been a wrestling fan?
I've been a wrestling fan since I was like 2 or 3 years old. Yeah, my dad has been a fan since he was about that age, and he just put it right on to me, and I have not looked back.
What was the first match you remember watching?
The one that sticks out is Hell in a Cell, Foley, Taker. I know it's like one of the more iconic, like people always name drop it ones, but that was one I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like what is happening here? I was so captivated by it.
Now, what's your earliest favorite memories besides the Hell in a Cell? From when you were a teenager to growing up?
Probably seeing the Hardys. Like, that really stood out to me, and I've been a Cena fan, too, since I was little. So just seeing this, like, bigger dude come into the ring and just kind of, like, running through people, but also having the, like, swagger to him, I thought was kind of cool. And those are, like, the things I remember most as far as actual wrestlers go, WWE at least.
Now, you are the interview queen. Tell us, how did you get your gig, and also tell us, what does it take to be an interview queen?
All right, what it takes is you got to be pretty good at just shooting the breeze with people, like conversing back and forth, being comfortable with that, and also just doing your research. Make sure you go into interviews knowing what you want to ask people, you know, because sometimes you'll go up and people ask, like, wiki questions, and I love hearing stuff we've never heard before, and I know my interviewees love that, too, so that's kind of what it takes. As far as how I got into it, I started doing music interviews about 6 years ago, and then 2 years ago I decided, hey, my site's big enough, my channel, why don't I start wrestling interviews? I did one, it did super well, it stuck, and then the rest is kind of history. I started working for some local promotions, doing interviews backstage for them, and then it led to bigger opportunities, and then Wrestlecon.
Well, we're right here at Wrestlecon today.
Yes, I'm super excited to be here. My first one, as we said, and I'm very excited.
Now, you just interviewed Kenny Omega a few days ago, and that's your biggest one so far, is it?
Yeah, it's one of them for sure. I've had a lot of, like, really big names on the site, which I'm super fortunate for. He is one of my favorite wrestlers, so it was super cool having him on for a third time. Yeah.
Now, do you have any funny stories of Kenny Omega since you've had him 3 times on the show?
Funny stories. There was one time after a show we were both signing at. We worked a show, and then we had a convention the day after. And in between those 2 days, some crew, myself, Omega, and Shane Helms, we went to a diner at like 2 in the morning, because you know when you're at shows they don't end sometimes till midnight, then you have to drive late. So yeah, we went to a diner, like a mom and pa one, and it was awesome. We all like just we were sitting there, we were talking for a while, and we were talking comic books for a long time and superheroes, so don't know if it's like a super funny story, but it's a little insight. It was just a kind of a fun hang. I enjoyed it.
Oh, so you like comic books also?
Yes, I do. I've liked them since I was little. I used to go to Comic-Con a ton. The artwork just fascinated me, plus obviously the like actual storytelling side of it. So yeah, big comic fan.
I'm a comic fan myself. I love DC, I love Marvel, I love The Walking Dead, I love Saga, and a few other independents. What's your favorite comic series and the company you read for most part?
Ultimate Spider-Man, one of the best comics ever. Spider-Man Blue. Then we're going to switch over to DC. Batman The Long Halloween is just, like, incredible, the writing in that and the artwork. So those are some of my favorites I'd recommend.
Long Halloween is one of my favorites also, along with The Cult, The Dark Knight Returns. Are there any one of those books that you've read you would like to see into an animated movie?
Ooh, an animated movie. I mean, Spider-Man Blue, I think the story in it was amazing, but it's so sad. Like, I don't know if I'd want to see that in movie form. Like, I don't like crying, so that would evoke me to cry. Long Halloween, I think, would be badass. So let's just go with that.
Well, I also want to see Batman Nightfall into a movie. I've been requesting that for years since I was a teenager.
No, they're all good. I don't know. There aren't too many comic books I read growing up that I didn't like. Teen Titans, too. I was super into Teen Titans. And that just, like, came up. I remember reading them on, like, my parents' bed. I loved them.
Now, where can everyone find you on social media?
Yes. So you guys can follow The Interview Queen if you go to AliciaAtout.com. All my links are on there. YouTube is youtube.com/amusicblog. Yeah, Twitter and Instagram is at Alicia Atout. And that's that.
Well, that's that. But before we go, your favorite music and your favorite music you like to listen to right now.
Ooh, okay. Favorite band of all time, The Beatles. Band I'm really enjoying right now. I've been a fan of them since I was a kid, but probably a band called Mystery Jets. They're from the UK, and they just play amazing, like, pretty much just well-written pop music, honestly. So, yeah, that's what I choose.
Thank you for coming on the interview, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun. Bye.